Anyway, imagine locking yourself in a room every week and you can't come out until you've designed and programmed an entire video game. Sounds heavenly, doesn't it? Yeah, well, our next guest's reality is actually pretty close to it. Shalin, Shodhan, and Kyle Gray are involved in a unique project called Experimental Gameplay, and they join us now to show us more. Guys, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Experimental Gameplay Project. Take it away.
So the Experimental Gameplay Project is 4 students from Carnegie Mellon's Entertainment Technology Center, and basically our goal is to each create 1 game per week, and it's quickly done between 4 to 7 days per game.
Okay. Now, is this, when you say a project, is this like a course? Is this a class? Is this an after-school thing, like a chess club? Or?
Right. So at the Entertainment Technology Center, we are allowed to pitch projects to the faculty. And so we pitched this project, said, hey, rapid prototyping games is a skill that would be very valuable for us to have in the industry. So can we do this project? They were very supportive of it. And
so you didn't kick down the door and say, hey, like, we want to like chill and make games all week? Is that cool? You didn't.
Pretty much,
okay,
but we polished it up.
Right, you used bigger words
sure
and convinced them that it's something that's productive, right?
That it's going to be something good, yeah.
So now it's just 4 guys, and how long have you been doing this?
We've been doing this since, I guess, the middle of January.
Wow. Okay, so now what type of games are actually made? I think that's the important part. Some brilliant stuff, really, in my opinion. But please, share some of your favorites. Let's see them.
All right, so the first game we have here is the Crowd. Shalin, would you like to take us?
So in this one, this is the game we actually made at the Indie Game Jam. This year at GDC, and Chris Hecker was kind enough to invite us over as interns. And essentially what you can do, and this is a game about social dynamics, what you can do is you have a crowd of like 500 children here, and you can advocate love, security, or violence to them.
Okay.
So if you advocate violence, then you're essentially setting them on fire.
Of course.
And the fire spreads through the crowd.
I thought that was advocating searing pain, but fair enough. And so someone's on fire, and now they spread that anger.
Yeah,
to
and they run around and they spread the violence.
So now, is there any way to extinguish it? Do you fight that with love, or
yes.
can you not fight that?
You can fight that with love. Let me just spread some more violence here. And
yes, please, by all means, that's what we're all about here.
All right, so you can counteract that with love, and they all start singing this beautiful song. And if the people who are on fire get surrounded by the people who are singing, then the violence gets extinguished, essentially.
Okay.
And we never really got to complete this game because this was done in 4 days, and that's all the time we got. But it's kind of an interesting experiment. The good thing that came out of this was this cool, like, zooming in mechanism of going into this.
Sure, the crowd kind of separates, and you get to see the focus in on somebody.
So an interesting project.
Now, what kind of tools are you using to make a game like that? What are you programming in?
So these games are all made in either OpenGL or Flash.
Okay.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Any particular reason you chose those two?
Well, with OpenGL, it's what Shalin and the other Kyle were basically skilled in, and for myself and then Matt, who is the other guy in the project, we both know Flash, so that's pretty much the only reasoning behind it.
All right, so the crowd is this social interaction kind of simulator, if you will.
Right.
But you have a wide variety of games. I know Tower of Goo is really one of my favorites. Can you explain Tower of Goo for us?
So Tower of Goo was made during our second week, and the concept behind this one was to make a game using springs. Okay. And basically what you do is you have these little balls of goo, which are all trying to climb as high as possible. So you're trying to build a tower to get them to a certain goal, in this case 25 meters. But the problem is that the tower is unstable because it's made out of goo.
Sure.
So you basically have to keep balancing, otherwise it'll start to lean over and become unstable and eventually fall.
Now, how do you come up with the concept for the tower is awesome on its own, but do you guys get together in a room and say, like, oh, you know what, springs sound fun, let's build a game with that? Or, I mean, how does it work?
Well, more or less. I mean, what happens is at the beginning of every week, we show our old games, and then we decide on a new theme for the week, such as springs. Right. And then everybody goes off in a unique direction, brainstorms their own stuff, talks with the other guys, and works on their own game.
That's great. Now, I mean, we're playing these games here. You make them available on your website. Do you have any plans to ever go retail with any of these? Or?
Not at the moment. No. I mean, we haven't been talking with anybody about that, but I mean that would be cool, I guess.
And you're cranking them out again. Like, one of the rules is that you have to be able to program these games within 7 days, right?
Right.
So at the end of every week, do you have like a crunch mode? Are you sitting there and it's like, oh, great, we have 2 hours left and the game barely loads? Or?
Well, unfortunately, sometimes the brainstorming will go long, so people will start games on Friday and have to have it done by Monday at about 3 o'clock. So there will be the last couple of nights, everybody will be up. We'll all be there working, and it'll get rather hectic. So,
so what's up next for the project? Where are you guys heading with this?
So we're actually, I guess, going to be done with it. The 4 of us are going to be finished in May when we graduate, and we're hoping that it'll be passed on to some of our first-year students to take up with it. But we're eventually hoping the website will expand. We'd like to have, we're going to add a forum. We would also like to have competitions for other people to post their stuff and maybe have some sort of prize once a month with some sort of theme to go with.
Well, very nice. Well, I encourage everybody out there to definitely go and check out all the games. They're incredibly fun, and they're really innovative. So excellent work, you guys. Thank you for coming on and showing it off, too.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
All right, to see the graduate program these guys are involved in, go to etc.cmu.edu, and you can play all the games at experimentalgameplay.com.